everyone. Welcome back to Financial Accounting Info. In this video, we want to look at a question on the general ledger. So we're going to go through the question and answer what follows. Our question reads, Nike Outfitters is a retail business which uses a markup of 25% on costs at all times. The business uses the periodic inventory system, and all the required parts are referred to the ledger account given below and answer the questions. So we're given the general ledger of Nike Outfitters, whereby we're given the balance sheet account section. So this is what we have. Then we've got the creditors control. So this creditors control is the one that we are going to respond to. So if we go beneath this creditors control, you'll see that we have got some questions that are following. The first question is saying, calculate the amount owed by Nick Outfitters on 1 June 2016. So let's try to find out 1 June 2016. Where do we have 1 June 2016? So you see that this is uh, a creditors ledger for the month of May. You are seeing the first balance that we are having is May 1. So it means all the transactions that are there are for May. So on 1 June, it means it's the first day of the next month. So it means it's going to be our balance BD. Remember, after balancing, you're going to get your balance CD, and then you've got a balance BD, which is going to have the first day of the next period, which is obviously, according to this question, will be 1 June. So we're going to balance this account, and the balance that you're going to get is going to be uh, the amount owed by Nike Outfitters on 1 June 2016. So basically, we add the total of the debit and the credit, then we compare the two. The credit total will come in between the double lines, and then the balance CD will come at the side with the smaller total, and the amount will be the difference between the two totals. So this is what we have. So if you add the debit side, let's just try to see the total of the debit. If you add, you are going to get see that the total that you are going to get is 9,166, which is the total of the debit side. The total of the credit, if you add there, you're going to get it, an amount of 55,354. 55,354. Here we are saying 55,354. So it obviously now it means this is the figure that is going to come in between the double lines both sides. Then the difference between the two totals becomes the balance CD, which is also going to be the balance BD, which is the balance BD will be the balance on 1 June 2016. So if you say 55,354 minus 9,166, you are going to get your answer, which is going to be 45,888. So this is what we have according to 6.6.1. So this is going to be your balance, which is 45,888. So we can just maybe try to make it more visible. We are saying 45,888. So this is what we have. Then we move on to the next question and try to see what exactly do we have. So the next question reads, how do you, as their bookkeeper, verify this balance? So this balance we are talking about is the balance that we have for 45,888. So the question is asking you, how do you find out that this figure is correct? But obviously, this is a creditors control. And remember, the creditors control will record the debtors amounts that we have. So we are going to have the total of debtors that we are going to record all the creditors amounts. So the balance that we're going to have will indicate the total creditors that we have at the end of the period, like our balance BD is indicating that. So what we are trying to say is the amount that we're going to have is our balance on 1 June 2016, which is our balance BD, should be the same with the total of the debtors, total of the creditors list in the uh, ledger. So if you look at it now, we are saying this amount should be the same. So this is exactly how we are going to verify that this balance is correct. So if you put it down, you're going to see that this balance must be equal to the creditors list. As simple as that. So we're going to say 6.2. 6.2. We go there and we explain it from that angle. We are saying 6.2. So we are saying this balance must be equal to the creditors list. So this is what we right. Remember, this is the list which shows the outstanding balance of creditors. So you'd see that the creditors list will show us the outstanding balances of these creditors. So the list total also should be the same with the balance that we'll be getting in the creditors control. So that they make. So remember, when these totals are different, there's need for you to prepare a creditors reconciliation, whereby you are now reconciling the two balances so that they become the same. So this is what we have in terms of 6.2. Then we can move on to the next one, which is 6.3. 6.3 reads as state the folio references for the following contra accounts. So folio reference, we know that a folio reference is a way to reference a bookkeeping entry, most often numbered in a chronological or sequential order. So this is just a way of referencing that is used in bookkeeping, and it is numbered in a chronological or sequential order. So this is what we have in terms of the explanation of a folio reference. And so the question is asking us to state the folio reference for the following quarter accounts. So we've got total allowances. Total allowances. So you see that total allowances, we are going to, the folio reference is going to be your creditors total allowances. We can just go to the question and try to see what we have on total allowances. So total allowances, we are seeing that is on the debit side, and obviously it's reducing the figure that we have on the credit where we are having our creditors balances. So it means this are coming as returns, and they are reducing the figure that we have on the credit. So obviously we are going to have a creditors allowance journal being the folio reference. So here we are saying a creditors allowance journal, which is the CAJ, representing your creditors allowance journal. So the next one is sundry accounts. We will try to see in terms of our sundry accounts. So we know that sundry accounts are basically when we are trying to define a sundry account, this is part of the accounts used for recording payments made by or to businesses that are not regular customers and suppliers. So the entries that we make that are not regular are referred to as a sundry. So obviously these are going to be recorded in the general journal. So our follow reference is going to be our general journal. So this is what we have. We go to the next question. Name the control account for the amount of 15,200 rands on the credit side of the account. So if you come here, we have got 15,000, 15,200, and then we are being asked about that entry. So let's try to see how best can we name that one. So you'd see that at the hint that we're having there is that we are having a follow reference of CJ, which is going to be our creditors journal. So it means that this amount obviously is now recording our purchases, or we can just say total purchases. So 15,200 is indicating our purchases. So we can just indicate on 6.4 that is referring to our purchases. So we have got our purchases. So you can just say total purchases. So we go to the next question and try to see what do we have. So on the next question, 6.5 reads, name the control account for the amount of 200 rands on the debit side of the account. So we go to the debit side again, try to see. for 200 here. So we see that this is uh, uh, general journal. The following reference that we're having here is general journal of 200. So obviously, this is giving us a hint that this is going to be uh, a journal debit. So obviously, this is becoming a journal debit. So here we can just indicate as journal debit. So here on 6.5, I will indicate that it's a journal debit. Then we go to the next one. Describe one transaction that could possibly give rise to the end of 676 rands on the debit side of the account. So we go there and check 676 on the debit side. So on 676, is written a sundry account. So we try to find out what can give rise to that. So obviously, 676, we are seeing that this can be, remember, Sandra said these are not regular entries that we make. So something that is irregular, we can refer it to as Sandra account. So in this case, this can come in the form of a transfer that has been made from the debtors ledger. Remember, we've got those balances that can be transferred from the debtors ledger, from debtors ledger to the creditors ledger. So in this case, obviously, it will be a debit balance in the debtors ledger that needs to be transferred to the creditors ledger. So obviously, we credit the creditors. Sorry, we credit the debtors ledger and then we debit at the creditors ledger. So this can come in the form of that. So we are just saying 6.5, which is we can just refer it to as uh, transfers of balances from debtors and creditors ledger. So we can just go and indicate it as such. So we can just say transfers transfers of balances, transfers of balances from debtors in creditors ledger. And in this case, obviously, it's from debtors ledger. So this is what we have. So last statement is saying state the source document for the following credit entries. We got 15,200. So we go back there to check what source document can we relate to the amount of 15,200. So if you come here, you'd see that this is the 15,200, and we are saying uh, it's the creditors. This CJ, we are saying this is the creditors journal, and we refer to it as the purchases. So obviously, purchases that we record in the creditors control, they are credit purchases. So obviously, we know that whenever there's a credit purchase, it's related to an invoice as the source document. So the original invoice, obviously, since we are the customer that is buying, we are buying. So obviously, the suppliers are going to give us the original invoice. So and then they will be left with the duplicate invoice. So you can just come here and indicate it as a original. So you have to state that it's an original invoice. So if you just say invoice, it means that it's not going to be correct because we can have a duplicate invoice. So in this case, you say original invoice. So we go to 6.7.2, also 500. We try to find out the source document related to 500. Here now we have got a sundry account, but on the credit side. So I will also try to find out. Remember, when you are having a sundry, we are saying it's an irregular transaction that has taken place. So obviously, we are going to record it in the journal of voucher. So this one is related to the journal of voucher as the source document. So here you can just say journal of voucher. So this is what we've guys according to this video. Let's meet again in the next video. As for this video, I'm out.